What's up? Brett Snodgrass, and welcome back to Freedom Friday. Today, I'm going to ask you a quick question. Number one, when I say freedom, what comes to your mind? Think about that. When I say freedom, what comes to your mind? What about financial freedom? What comes to your mind with financial freedom? If I were to say you are financially free, what would that look like? How much money would that cost? What is your freedom number? What would it take for you to be free? I watch YouTube sometimes, not all the time. I create YouTube channels, but I do watch YouTube, and I see most business owners and entrepreneurs with their YouTube channel and the gurus out there. They have a lot of things in common. Typically, they're driving a really nice exotic car, right? Probably a Lamborghini. That's kind of the new status symbol, the Lamborghini. Living in a really, really nice home, probably $1 million home with their pool. They have two or three vacation homes, and they portray, man, this is what freedom looks like. If you want to be free, this is it. This is what freedom is. You have to have all this crap to be free. And I'm going to tell you that that's a huge lie. It's a big lie. And if you believe it, then you are deceived. That you don't have to have all of that stuff to be free. Honestly, that stuff overwhelms me. Like if I watch those channels and I'm like, man, and I'm sitting over here and I got this W2 job and that I don't like, and I'm driving to it and I'm listening to this person talk about all this crap that they have, and this is what freedom looks like to them. It overwhelms me because I'm like, man, that's so far down the road that if that's what freedom is, I don't know how I'm ever going to get there because that's really, really expensive. Like all that stuff is so expensive that I never know how I'm going to get there. I'm never going to be free, and I'm going to have the handcuffs on for the rest of my life. And if you believe that and you think that you have to have all of that and you're buying all that, trying to gain that freedom, whatever that image is that they're portraying, it's stealing your freedom. You think you're trying to gain freedom by getting all this stuff. And honestly, it's doing the exact opposite. It's stealing your freedom. Um, so I want you to ask the question. I really want you to think about this is, what does your true freedom cost? And here's the thing, it doesn't have to cost millions of dollars. Actually, you might be really, really close. Some of you, it just might be a decision. It doesn't cost you anything. It just costs you a decision, a tough decision that you have to make. You're already there, but you're trying to gain more security and you're trying to get a little bit more cushion, trying to get a little bit more padding there before you take the leap. Um, like I said, here's just a quick scenario, and maybe this describes you. This described me at one time. You have a W-2 job, you wake up 6 o'clock in the morning, you're not feeling great, you're getting ready to go to your work, you're putting on your khakis, putting on your bow tie, whatever, your sweater vest, I don't know, whatever you wear to work. You're getting in your Ford probe or your Ford vehicle. I don't even if they make Ford probes anymore. And you're driving to work. It's 8 in the morning and you're listening to this show, and you don't like your work. You wish that you could be free. And you're listening to all these other channels out there talking about all this stuff, and you get depressed because you're like, I'm never going to be free because I have to have all of this crap. And that's the lie. That's how we get deceived. So here's what I want you to do is I want you to start with this. I'm going to start simple. how much does it really cost you to be free? Start looking at your bills. Start looking at how much life costs you right now. Not talking about the, celebrity you on the beach with his 3 homes. I'm talking about you just right now. How much does life cost? And when you really start to look at it, I'm sure you can start cutting costs because you're probably spending money on crap that doesn't matter, that doesn't bring any value to your life. So cut those out and get to the nitty gritty. Simplify. How much does life really cost you? Think about your home, your used Ford, your food, your kids' clothes. You don't need any more new clothes. You could wear it doesn't bring you value. You don't need the $5,000 watch. It doesn't bring you value. Okay? Think about how much life really costs you and go from there. 14 years ago, I did this and life didn't cost me very much money. Of course, I wasn't married. I didn't have a lot of kids. I did have a daughter. I lived in a 900 square foot condo. I think my mortgage was like $450 for my it was a $70,000 condo. Bought it for 72,000. I drove a Ford Festiva, had a little 8-ball gear shift. It cost me 700 bucks. That's what I drove that's what I drove around. And it got 45 miles to the gallon. And it was awesome. And I'm thinking about buying another one because it's completely awesome. Okay. Look up Ford Festiva and your eyes are going to bug out because it's freaking amazing. Uh, I paid for food, utilities, and that was it. Gas. That was it. My bills were $2,500 a month. It didn't cost me much to be free, right? So when I started to think about getting out of my job, I was working for a timber company and I was doing some substitute teaching, and I was making about 35,000 that year. So for me to replace that, it wasn't that much money, right? I had to replace $30,000 to $35,000. Didn't cost me very much to be free. So maybe you have a family and it costs you more than $30,000. I get it, but it probably doesn't cost you that much. And if it does, simplify your life and get rid of crap. Like you don't need all of that. Do you want crap or do you want freedom? Sometimes you have to make that decision. And so start there. How much does it really cost you? And maybe you're close. I hear this a lot that I was talking to a gentleman the other day, and his wife works, and he wants his wife to be free, and she makes $75,000 per year. And we started off with that. And I said, well, what's it going to take for you to have a business over here to replace that so your wife could be free? And, we always start off with replacing our income. Well, I need to make $75,000 a year. And I started to ask these questions. I said, well, do you? I mean, if you don't, could your wife still be free? I mean, do you really need to make 75,000? Or maybe if you made 50,000 in this small business over here, could your wife be free? And the answer was yes. We didn't need to make 75,000. I could make 50 and my wife could be free. Is that extra $25,000 that important for your wife to be slaved to her job? Maybe it was only 25,000 that he had to make to get his wife out. Maybe it was 0. Maybe they could cut costs and they didn't need this other stuff, to have his wife be free. How much does it cost you to be free? Right? Maybe you want to get out of your job. Maybe your spouse wants to get out of their job. Really get down to the nitty gritty and figure out how much it's going to cost you. Maybe you don't have to replace your income. Just look at your bills. Um, so that's the what I want to get with you guys today is freedom doesn't have to cost you millions of dollars. We have this fascination with millions of dollars. And I know people that have bought all of the crap and they're not free and they'll never be free because in here they think that in order to be free, they have to have more crap. And that's not true. And that's the lie that they're living and they're being deceived every single day. And they try to make themselves feel better by buying another piece of crap. So, how much does your freedom cost? Thank you guys. See you next week.